Wait, so all this time you're telling me I could have used plutonium to make plutonium in an unpacker? Oh man, maybe I should pay more attention to the recipes when I check them out. It is, however, a good thing I let my nuclear reactor run its course though, because I already have 45,000 ingots of plutonium. Yeah, that's because you can use the 1 to multiply plutonium, and here we are. Anyways, guys, welcome back to All the Mods 10, episode 42, where today we're starting off with a little bit more bad news. That bad news comes in the form of the addition of Create and updating to the modpack version 2.40. Look at that. 2.40 changes a few recipes here. The large mechanical arm, or the large motor, is now replaced with the mechanical arm, which is significantly easier to get through Create. And the Philosopher's Fuel requires literally just a blaze burner instead of this thing, which I spent a whole entire episode creating. Now, the real question is, and I would like your guys' inputs in the comments, should I keep this automation and continue as if this recipe never changed? Or would you like to see me dive into Create and automate not only the blaze burners, but also the mechanical arms? Because these are fairly easy to set up and craft up. The precision mechanism is just a 15-step process anyways. Let me know. Either way, today I want to work on nukes because you need a stack of nukes to make a singularity, and nukes aren't all that cheap to begin with. My current holdup was plutonium, but now that that guy has done processing, I can now move on to bigger and better things like tritium and deuterium. And for the longest time I was going to follow this recipe chain where I centrifuge some water to get heavy water and then compress the heavy water. This is actually an optional step. I don't know why I chose to do that, but then you can convert it 1-to-1 into tritium in a nuclear reactor like this guy. There does also happen to be this process that produces both deuterium and tritium in a centrifuge. Now, this isn't a lot of tritium, and I'll have to do something about that. However, this is a really easily passivable process, if you're catching my drift. Especially with the existence of processing arrays, I can make a lot of deuterium and tritium rather quickly for the sole cost of hydrogen, which I can get by, well, a bunch of processes, the most convenient being electrolysis of water, which can also be done in a processing array. So this seems like a fairly viable option right now. And to that effect, I have decided to make 3 more processing arrays. One for the water into hydrogen and oxygen, one for the hydrogen into deuterium and tritium, and one to convert the singularity into UU matter using electrolyzers. Alright, these are all built. Now I'm thinking the first guy would be responsible for the water. So input hatch go here, point upwards, and I'm going to put an infinite water block on this guy just so it never has to interact with my system for infinite water. And down here at the bottom, I'm going to give it 2 output hatches, one for hydrogen and one for oxygen. So boop, boop, and there we go. Funny enough, the next guy along will get the same treatment where I'm going to give it 2 outputs for deuterium and tritium. And once again, they'll have to face downwards. I am going to pipe all of these into a singular interface. And obviously this guy also gets an input for hydrogen. Once again, got to do one of these. And then this last one gets a singular output hatch, but no input hatch because this guy will house a singularity. Now I want to put an interface down here, and this will serve as an output for all of my fluids, or an input to the system for all of my fluids. So just one channel, and I am still going to be using the P2P that's all the way over there. I believe it's at 25 channels or so. So this would be another channel and then another channel for this guy because that's a hydrogen input. It should be golden. And I am simply just using some mechanical pipes from Mechanism to pipe all of these out. Exactly like the items. Oh, it's that one. Exactly like the items over there and down there. And of course, none of these builds would be complete without some soul surging. So I think I'm going to pull all of these to the left here. Or maybe should I combine them in the middle? I don't like either one of these solutions. I'll just make a subnet. And here it is all wired up. Everything is now working, and I am also exporting some of my hydrogen into this guy, which is slowly turning into both deuterium and tritium. Doesn't seem like I double click that though. Let's just fix that real quick, shall we? There we go. Now, both of these probably don't have anywhere to go, which is why I have all of these in my inventory, but I do want to finish this up first. Gotta make it look pretty, right? Just place all of these down, and then I can come back over to my cell workbench, where I'm gonna put an overflow destruction card, as well as an equal distribution card, which makes it so that the tritium and deuterium are assigned equal portions of the 64 KSAW, and all extras get destroyed. Now, because those things have nowhere to go, the moment I put these in, both of these should fill up with the amounts that are in the interface. There we go. That means my system works. It's just that simple. I feel like I may have done a little bit too much magic while trying to get all these weather containers. Whoopsies. And now that those effects have indeed worn off, I should be able to put down this water block and have my first machine come online too. Only I can get out of here. And sure enough, this thing's ripping along as well, producing, I would imagine, oxygen and hydrogen. Hydrogen, which is then being used over here. And then that does mean that I should have both tritium as well as deuterium to make a nuke. And after standing around while I wait for some highly advanced upgrades to craft up so I can speed up all of these machines to blistering fast speeds, I now have enough tritium to get started with new production. And it's coming in pretty decently fast too. And it does seem like all of that preparation has paid off, because all of these three ingredients, deuterium, tritium, and plutonium, I have in storage, and I have crafting recipes for the rest. So this should be as simple as going down to my assembler processing array, just tossing this in, then requesting a nuke. I hope this works. Well, let's just hit replan, and hey, it should be crafting. Ooh, it does seem like it's a little bit busy with other stuff right now. Let's just speed this along, shall we? Is it done yet? What are we waiting on? Let's check it out. Ooh, that's a bit embarrassing. I bet I've forgotten some fluid input hatches. Yeah, that one's filled with tritium, and I don't exactly have space for another fluid input hatch over here because of the way this is all wired up. That's a little bit annoying. But I do think I can get rid of one of these output hatches. Okay, just a little bit of pipe rerouting, and I should now be able to take one of these. Do I need it to be an advanced hatch? Nope. Just get away with a regular old fluid input hatch, I believe. Come on now. Can't keep waiting. Grab you, put this guy down here. I'm gonna have to break this to set this side as an output, and then do that. One of these can go here, and then complete that. This should get its deuterium, I believe, because this one had the tritium. Eventually. Come on now. That's taking so long. Deuterium. Tiniest little amount. There it goes. And it should be crafted. Well, once it's done with the other stuff. Oh, wait a minute. It shouldn't be able to. Why is the shape invalid all of a sudden? That works. Oh, that's a fluid output hatch. How silly of me. Hold on. I know. What happens? There we go. It's now crafting up a nuke. And it's done. One nuke. I've become Death, Destroyer of Worlds. You know, this does demand of me to RTP, set one of these down, and explodificate it. Because I can, mostly. And I have teleported 18,000 blocks away. Just to see what this does. Here goes nothing. Wait a minute. Wait, so you're telling me that this doesn't work? I'm deeply disappointed. I don't like this at all. Goodbye, nuke. Anyways, while I wait for 64 new nukes to craft up, I gotta extend a quick thank you to the patrons whose names you can see going across the screen. Thanks to each and every single one of y'all, but also thank you to the rest of the viewers who've made my Discord reach 540 members. So if you want to be a part of the conversation or find out in general what I'm up to, come and join the Discord. It's in the description. And well, while you're down there, why don't you even like the video or something? Maybe even subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm pretty damn close to 3,000 subscribers. I think it'd be pretty cool. Here we are with 64 nukes. Finally. That means that I can finally craft up a singularity in an implosion compressor using one ultra dense ball. This was an auto craft I set up a long time ago, so that should take no time at all. And an implosion compressor is available right here. Input hatches, here it is. 64 nukes go in here, that's just 32. God damn it. Here's the other 32. Beep, boop. And within half a second, I have made the most difficult item I have made so far. The singularity. What are all these? Using content, robotic miners and stuff. Let's just get rid of these. But this is quite the achievement actually. This is really hard to get. What's the achievement say? Pocket black hole. Yeah, pretty much. Now this will make me a bunch of UU matter. And that is made in a centrifuge. Right? Ah, it's made in an electrolyzer, forgive me. Okay, I'm hoping this is decent. Electrolyzers go in. And the singularity goes in. Now I do believe that turns this machine on. And sure enough, over time this will become much faster. But for now, I can speed up time. And watch it go. And finally, I should have UU matter, but it'll be probably ending up just in here, waiting for somewhere to go. And this 1 million fluid drive gets partitioned to be UU matter, and of course I'm going to give it an overflow destruction card, because every single thing that is ever produced passively should be buffered and then destroyed as and when it fills up. I believe I'm currently all the way down here, so this guy goes here, and already I have a bucket of UU matter. I'm going to get a whole lot more. And my current tritium reserves mean that I should also be able to set up a craft for this guy, and then it means I would need a quantum circuit board as well. It's made in an assembler using helium-3, the next challenge. Upgrading this and making 8 of these quantum circuits is probably the more expensive part, but helium-3 is just a centrifuge, and boy oh boy do I have a spare space for centrifuges. Just gonna plop this guy down here, slap it with overdrive module, that's the one I'm talking about. And I'll put upgrades in here later. For now, I wanna make this a pattern provider for helium. Exactly like so. And now, I do believe I should be able to request the quantum circuit. Just gonna say replan and retry until it does the thing. It should just be able to. There we are. First quantum circuit. Well, that took forever. But now, lastly, I should be able to re-request all of this. I think that request has been satisfied because obviously there's stuff here. But once the cooling cells are here, it's quantum circuit time. And hey, I just had to speed up my nuke production and I have my second singularity at the ready. This one is obviously going to turn into the upgrade. And just like that, I have the quantum circuit. Cool. I need 7 more of these. You know what? I'm going to take a break here, go AFK for a bit, queue up the 7 crafts, and I'll be back. I've spent a tiny little while waiting, and now I have almost everything I need other than the 32 highly advanced upgrades to make the quantum upgrade. Using this assembler to be the one I use, and that's mostly because the big processing array is misbehaving ever so slightly with a bunch of mixed ingredients. It crafts the wrong thing sometimes, and because of its mixed nature, it's a little bit hard to single out which one I want to use instead of the other ones. So, not quite sure what I can do to fix that, but I have a wall of machines for now, so that's completely okay. Got an overdrive in it. Should be fine. All I'm actually missing for this big craft is just 32 of the highly advanced upgrades. I have 1 on my person, 19 in my bag that I've been stocking up, and I do believe I have 12 in these machines here. Just 2 there, another 2 there, another 6 there, that's 10, and another 2 here. Perfect. I remember batch crafting these so that they add up to 32. And now I have everything to make my first quantum upgrade. A lot of firsts this episode, but hey, it's how we roll sometimes, right? And there we are. It is ever so slowly crafting up, but I can always just hit it with that. There we go. And this, my dear viewer, is the key to infinite damage. And also infinite armor. Basically, this is what you use to make the nanosuit, as well as craft the quantum sword. First things first, I get to replace the bottom right machine over here with an electric packer, which allows me to finally put this quantum upgrade to use and make myself the quantum sword, for which I would need the ultimodium alloy paxel. Now, I did put a lot of effort into crafting myself the awakened supreme paxel in one of the previous episodes, and I do happen to have a Hephaestus forge set up. But to craft all of these things, I am, however, gonna have to get the blood back into the altar again. Unfortunately, there is no automation for this, so gotta do this the old-fashioned way, I guess. Just need a little bit of blood. I'm gonna kill all of these creepers, and that should probably be enough of these. Right? And yeah, just one round of creepers is probably enough. I should probably check that though. 1,000 blood for this guy. And another 1,000 for that. So I need about 4,000. I got 6,000. Another 1,000 experience. You know what? If I run out of this stuff, I can always set all of it up again. But I feel like I'll be fine. You know what? I should just get on with my life. And actually start crafting these things. And you know what? Now that I'm done with the black hole, I can just put it in a cardboard box and forget about it. Perfect. A single piece of ultimodium goes in the middle, surrounded by 3 orbs, and then a single piece of stellarite. And finally, these textures have also fixed themselves, and the gavel goes bonk. I'm in the process of making eternal stellas, and I've already made one, but I need eternal stellas because each and every single one of these tools requires 2, so that means in total I need 8. I happen to have 2 already, right? So that brings my total up to 3 of these. That means I need 5 more, and I think I have just enough stuff for it. And that's all 8 of these. Now, for the rest of the crap I need 4 of each alloy ingot, 4 of each dragon scale, and 1 of each of the unobtainium tools. Fortunately for me, I had exactly 12 dragon scales from 12 dragon fights, a bunch of these alloys that had been auto-crafted up previously, and I also happen to have recipes for each and every single one of these, except diamond shovel apparently. Well, that's okay. I'll make a shovel on my own. And finally, this is what the process is going to look like. Put the tool in the middle, and then just go down my hotbar, and put one of each of these into each one of these pedestals, and then bonk it with the gavel. Turns out I was a little bit short in blood, but here we go. That's the shovel. There's the sword. Ooh, I'm surprised I didn't get a notification or anything for holding up. Thank you, video game. There goes the axe. And finally the pickaxe. And of course I've been using the time wand on the Hephaestus forge itself, just to speed things up. Here we go, the entire collection. Now to finally make the nice paxel, I need 600 experience, 2000 blood, 64 souls, and 100 oil. I have enough oil, I have enough souls, I do not have enough souls, I do not have enough blood, but I do have enough experience. All of these can be fixed. And finally, many hours of work culminate into me making this final tool, the ultimodium alloy paxel. I should have everything. All that's left to put in the middle is the awakened supreme paxel. And lastly, the gavel goes bonk. Obviously, I would like to speed all of this up with these, so let's just get this over with. Ta-da! And you know what, just for funsies, because I can, I want to make the electric packer look nice and pretty while I use this guy on this guy. And I don't think this is gonna work without its own quantum upgrade. For me, that means a whole lot more crafting. For you, however, it's just gonna be a jump cut. It's crafting 58,000 rubber. Well, I feel like it's gonna need a little bit of time warping just to help it along. Wait, I just heard the noise. Is the quantum thing done? Hold on. Yes, it is. It is done. That now means I can finally put this guy in. And 10 seconds later, I should get a quantum sword with infinite damage. It's the moment I've been waiting for, actually. And this should make a big old noise. Hell yeah. But you know what, folks? I'm gonna have to call this episode right here because I am a little out of patience thanks to babying all of the setups around me. I think I'm gonna take some time, do some decorations, fix the holes in the walls. And if you want to see what I get up to with this quantum sword, you're gonna have to wait for the next episode. In the meantime, this has been KSAW and all the mods 10, and I'll see you next time. Peace out, everybody.